What I'm gonna miss most about Torch, I'm gonna miss you guys the most, of course. I'm gonna miss the community that we've created and just being able to see God work in you and have you guys just help me while I'm working through anything that I'm going through, and we can just come together every Monday and we can just be together and we can worship and we can play dodgeball and we can just play a bunch of games. And I'm gonna miss being able to just see you guys and knowing that you guys are close to me and that I need you whenever I need you.
So one of my favorite memories probably has to be from when I was in 8th grade. I remember us 8th grade girls went to go ring bells, and this guy came and we were like, oh, here, have a candy cane, have a candy cane. And he was like, no, like, I can't have one. We're like, yeah, you can, like, it won't kill you. And he's like, no, like, seriously. And then he ended up telling us his whole life story. His name was Jeff Walters. And the one thing I remember is he said, if I were to know the day I would die, I would throw a huge celebration to celebrate it. And that was the most impactful part.
Okay, so my favorite memory from Torch would have to be worshiping in Mexico, because it was our first time that we really got to see, at least our group, like true passionate worship, and how like we really just, when we're worshiping through music, you should just give it all, and it's not about standing in front of the congregation just singing or reading words off of a screen. It's really just like giving your life to Christ, and whether it's jumping up and down, whether it's literally belting your lungs out, or scream singing, laying on the ground, standing still in a corner, having your arms out, having your hands to your side, either way, it's worship. And it was just the first time that I was really exposed to just like true passionate love and like for Christ. And it was really cool to see that on the other side of the world with a lot of my best friends and just experience that together.
My favorite Torch memory was being the captain of the Blue Lightning Upside Down Elephants and taking home the Fall Retreat championship.
Something that I've always loved about Torch is the community and how it's not only at Torch all the time. Like, we would get together and do things. One of my favorite memories is when we all went hammocking at what we call the hammocking spot. And so we all went there and we were sitting. I think Sebastian brought us Taco Bell, and we sat there for a while, and then we went and we ran around Walmart and we played hide and go seek. And we just did all these different things. We went and we played Lava Monster at the park, and we literally just messed around and did all these random stuff. And then we went back to Connor's house, and his mom made us fish fry, and Jack prayed and he said, "Dear Gord," and just all these different memories that we have, because we always have been such a tight-knit community, and that's just one of them I'll always remember.
My favorite memories from the past 4 years, I think, would have to be from my freshman year when we all went to Mexico to Esperanza Viva. And I have two memories specifically from there. One, just one morning, a bunch of the girls just got up and Maggie Sirex had her ukulele, and we all just sat and watched the sunrise with like the volcano in the back, and it was so calm and peaceful. And I'm really appreciative of that trip and all the girls who went on it, because I think we got to be really close. And then another memory from there was when it was one of the last nights, and it was after dinner, and all the kids were just outside, and I just remember like we were all just doing different games. Like a bunch of people were playing soccer, some people were playing like Duck Duck Goose or basketball. Like, it was just so many random games, but it was so fun, and I think you could definitely tell that like God was there, because I didn't really have no other way to explain it. It's just like, I remember just like looking around and being like, this is God. Like, I have no other words for it.
I have always sought the approval of others, and ever since I think 8th grade, I was very just focused on what others thought of me and what I could do better to make others like me. But my sophomore year, I went to a camp, and it was all about God, and they taught me that you don't need to go to others for that approval, but you can just go to God. And I think it was something that I always knew, but I didn't really rely on until I was surrounded by people that I didn't necessarily know, and I was kind of uncomfortable around them. But I think that that moment that God gave me that opportunity for really just shaped me to know that I don't need the approval of others, and I don't need to be perfect, and I don't need to be this image that everybody thinks that a Christian is in order to be what God can use me for in the world.
Torch has just shaped me in being a better man in really a lot of aspects. Again, through music, through relationships, through, even conversation. Like, getting to know people and meeting people has become a lot easier through Torch, and being more friendly and open. And I think it's actually going to benefit a lot in life, and has benefited a lot. I made like 7 new friends today. So, yeah.
So something that God has really taught me and helped me in over these past 4 years is definitely like giving up control of my life. So I like things very orderly and nice, and a nice schedule, and my calendar is color coded and all that fun stuff. And I like to like be in control and know what's gonna happen. But obviously that's not the way the world works, number one, and that's not the way a relationship with God works either. I think God has really taught me that I need to give up my control to him, because I can't do it on my own. And I've tried so many times to, like, if I schedule things well enough, and if I try hard enough and put enough effort in, that it'll all work out. But I need newsflash, guys, it doesn't. So I just think that he's really shown me that it's not about me, and I need to rely on him to take that control and to be the Lord of my life. And so that gives me more purpose and meaning in my life, because I don't have to worry about getting it all done, and I can rest in the fact that Jesus' death was sufficient, and his plan for my life is above everything else and what I want.
So God has basically shaped me in so many ways, especially these past 4 years, and actually pursuing a relationship with him. But I don't think that I really noticed how he was shaping me until I let him, and until I wanted him to be my best friend and to be that person in my life that guided me and was someone that I always went to no matter what, and everything. And once I made that decision that I wanted him to be the center of my life, he just was. And every decision that I did, I always looked to him, and I wanted to do something that would please him, that would make him proud, something that is a way that he would act, and to act like Christ. And I just wanted to follow him in those ways, whether it was going to Russia and being the only youth, or going to Mexico, and just finding different ways that I wanted to serve him and that he wanted to use me. And through all of that, it really has shown me that I have a purpose in my life to be able to spread his word to everybody else, and to be able to be that light. And those are the gifts that he has given me, and he's been able to show me what those are.
God has prepared me through youth ministry to go on into adulthood and be able to share God to other people in the next coming years of my life.
Throughout my whole Torch experience, I think the biggest thing that God has taught me is to be stronger as a person. And when I was in middle school, I was really kind of lost in my identity, and I didn't really know like where I fit in or what I was going to do and how God was going to shape me as a person. And mainly in Torch, he's just taught me to be a stronger person in general, and to know that my identity is in Christ and Christ alone. And no other thing in my life is completely permanent, and the only thing that's permanent in my life is Christ. And the only way that I can really just make myself stronger as a person for the better is to go through Christ to make me stronger as a person. And I think that's what I've learned most about myself, and that is what God has taught me.
So to the future of Torch, something that I think I would love to see is just everybody loving each other, because that's something that I've learned a lot through the past 4 years here. At Torch is just like loving each other as hard as you can, because if we're not loving each other, then what else are we doing? And I think just like expressing that in every way possible, and not being cliquey or culty and just, loving each other in every way possible, and reaching out to those who are unreached and reaching out to those who are reached, and just exposing yourself to everyone around you, whether it's at Torch or it's at school or your jobs or at your homes, because even people need love there sometimes, and just really showing that to every single person. And
So my hopes for Torch is if I come back in 15 years, I want to see a community where everybody's pushing each other and loving each other and seeking God in the unknown and the uncomfortable.
Something that I don't want to leave behind is never giving up on people, because I feel like it's so easy just to look at someone and be like, oh, they're weird or awkward or we don't really click. But once you really start to get to know someone, I feel like that's when you really become the closest friends. And that's how I became the closest friends with a lot of people at Torch, and how I was able to get into relationships with those people and really just bond with them and grow in faith alongside with them. And if I hadn't taken a leap of faith and not given up on them, I think that I would be missing out on so many relationships and so many opportunities.
Something that I want the Torch students to work on as the senior class moves on is just being bold in their faith and more vocal about God, and even for people that have never heard about Him, to just go out and be confident enough to say, this is who I am, this is what I believe in. And someone that I think has done this really good would probably be Jordan. She is literally one of the sweetest people ever, and she's so good at going out of her way to make everyone feel included, and you can really tell that it's just God's light shining through her, and it's something I really admire for her. And I wish that I had done a little better in high school, but I just hope that you guys can do the same thing and just go out and make everyone feel included and really just shine God's light on everyone, no matter who they are.
As you guys grow up, as you begin to take new adventures and experience new things, just remember Jesus in every aspect, and don't lose sight of what's really important and of God's word.
Something that I want to leave with you guys, a little bit of advice, is to make sure you're pursuing the relationships with people at school and people around you that aren't actually in our Torch community, because it is so important to be that light out to your friends, and they're never gonna know what it looks like to actually follow Jesus if you don't show them. They can come to Torch and they can hear about Jesus, but you are the ones who show them what that looks like. And I know it's not going to be easy whatsoever, because a lot of people will probably shut you down, but keep pursuing after them, and keep encouraging them. And it's okay to be the one to send that first text or check on them first. They might not always check on you, but that's okay, because Jesus is the one who constantly pursued us, and constantly is there for us even when we're not actively pursuing Him. So I would just encourage you guys to make sure that you are pursuing people and keeping in contact with them, and really just showing them what it looks like to love Jesus, whether it be through your actions, just being there for them, bringing them food when they're sick, or just sending them that encouraging text. Just make sure you always are looking out for people and showing them what it looks like to love Jesus.
Don't cry 'cause it's over, smile 'cause it happened. Dr. Seuss.
Hey seniors, so welcome to your senior night. We are so excited to be able to celebrate with you in this and your next season in life. So I wanted to take a second to give you one last short message. In Hebrews 12 it says this, "Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set out before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him who has endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." So that's my prayer for each one of you. For some of you, I have been able to get to know you over the past 5 years very well. And every single year it hurts to see each group move on. And every year it seems to get harder and harder because of the fact that I get to know each and one of you more and more, just simply because of the time that we've had. I want to say how proud I am of each one of you, how thankful I am of each one of you, and on behalf of all the leaders and the students of Torch, your family, we love you. But know as much as we love you that there is a God who loves us so much more, that he endured the cross, and what he asks us to do in return is to rely on him so that we do not grow weary and lose heart. My prayer for you is that you continue to know Jesus more and more every single year, that your love for him will grow. I love you guys, and I will continue to pray for you guys for your future, and I'm so excited to see where you guys go. God bless.
David, I was gonna say, like,
sometimes,
I've
like, way too
been so
much.
much more loving, my relationships are stronger, and I've just really decided I'm Jesus.
Wait, Grace is like, I need to go back. I got something I got to say.
I do have something I need to say. It'll be quick. Okay.
Do you actually?
No,
You
he
wanna
can go
Do you
first.
wanna go? Go ahead.
Okay. Also, Torch Get Lit.